Jones. Hang on for that. There it is.
Oh,
There it
it's
is.
smaller now.
Yes. Yes, I adjusted the size of it. Made it smaller for the stream. Welcome to the 150th Geek Spot News program.
It is 150. It's a long time for us to do this together.
It is. And I'm going to play a tiny little snippet of our very first show together after I answer this question. What does a 4 McNugget Happy Meal for $5.39 have in common with Daniel Jones, who makes $160 million? I'll tell you the three things they have in common. They both can't throw touchdowns. They both can't read a defense. The only difference is the McNuggets make people happy.
Oh wow.
That
all seems fair.
That was for here. So before we get into the what you doing, how you doing,
I don't think we're live on Facebook, by the way.
I don't think we are either. I have a custom. It says we're live, but I don't know if it actually worked. And the Facebook, there's an issue with EV Mux and Facebook. So before we get into the hi, how you doings, let me know if you can hear this. What?
He needs a Snickers bar. He's really Marsha. It's Marsha in disguise tonight.
I did make my background the Brady house. There's a theme going on here. Oh shit. Can you hear that? So this is new show. The Geek Spot News, no longer Nerd Revolution Radio at this point in time. I don't know if everybody else can hear this. I'm a Brady in heart, Matt. Always a Brady at heart.
You're like the cousin Oliver.
We'll have to repost that one. There's more, and it's kind of funny. Humble beginnings, all the way back on September 2nd. I'm sorry, all the way back on January 27th, 2021. I'm sorry, I looked at last week's episode.
That's fair. We hold on. I'm just doing one more thing. I'm going to be kind to the Facebook people and share the link.
Oh, you're the best.
To the YouTube on the Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, there's some kind of weird issue with EV Mux and Facebook.
EV Mux being the software we use to stream to all of you.
Yes.
So thank you for hanging out for that.
Face page being the page of face that everyone is so enamored with.
Yeah. All right. Here we
I
go.
hate it. Right. So while you're sharing that, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. Busy week. I had a birthday.
Ooh. For who?
For me.
I was going to wish you happy birthday at the end of last show, and I totally forgot.
I got this guy.
Oh, look at you. Jack is 32 years old.
Sure. I also got a nice Jay and Silent Bob reboot poster signed by Jay and Silent Bob.
That's kind of cool. I like the bobblehead. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a pop. It's a pop. It's a pop.
The pop. The bobblehead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you can pop yourself now. If you ever so choose to pop yourself. Apparently I'm not good at this tech thing with figuring out how to use this other stuff. So this 150th episode is off to a stellar start.
With pretty standpoint.
But good to see everybody else that's here too in the chat. Charles T. Savies. Yeah, so did that. Had a couple shows. Watched some games, watched some TV, I don't think I watched any movies. Some TV that feels like a movie. Started a new show.
Oh.
Got into that Chaos show on Netflix.
Friday night. Oh.
No, a new show, Frank.
It's new for you.
Nope, it's not. Nope. Friday Night Lights will never be new for me because that would mean I would have to watch it.
Could be.
And that's not going to happen. But yeah, that's what I was doing. All that stuff. So yeah, birthday gigs, watching stuff. Soccer season started for the kid. All the things. How about you, man?
Oh, did I have a weekend? Let's see. Friday night was. I don't remember what Friday night was.
The Eagles played Friday.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Wow. Just glad to know where your allegiance for your football stands.
I was watching the Phillies, and then once the Phillies got up to 16, I switched over to the Eagles, and right away I watched Saquon slip, and I went, Christ, this is going to be a game. But it turns out he can play some football, and I think he really likes playing for the Eagles.
Yeah, it's impressive how many people can play when they're not in New York.
They're not playing for a Chicken McNugget. No, that was my Friday night. Was watching the Eagles and the Phillies simultaneously at one point have the same amount of points as each other.
Oh, that's true. They
did. And then the Phillies went on to have a shit weekend while the Eagles fans celebrated the virtual stealing of Saquon Barkley because the Giants didn't want to pay him money. Hi, Dom, whenever you get here. Let's see. Saturday morning, I guested on a wrestling podcast. I was on WWE The People. I was on episode number 7 with Ted, Andy, and our friend JJ, and had a little fun. We did about an hour, just chit-chatted for wrestling. I think he cut it down to about 30 minutes because we really, really off-roaded a little bit.
That sounds
right. Yeah, JJ and I kind of went a little. We kind of went off a little bit here and there.
The Last Jedi instead. I get it.
No, not this time. I was waiting, and maybe if they ask me back again, I'll bring it up then. Now I took my kid. We were supposed to have this wonderful day. We were going to drive to Wildwood, get some fudge, walk the boardwalk, come back up to Atlantic City, go get some steak. And we went to Wildwood. We got the fudge, and he was like, "I just want to go home." So he did not feel like going to Atlantic City. He's 22 years old. He has no interest in gambling at this point in time, which I'm glad.
That's for the best.
Yeah. Sunday I had a hockey game. I watched an episode of a TV show. And
that's exciting. I wonder what show you watched.
Pretty much it. This was one of those weekends where, next weekend is the last. We're gonna have the last barbecue of the summer at the pool, and then I can dive in head first into some shows that I'm supposed to be watching that I promised I would, and I'm gonna tag team Rings of Power and Doctor Who this week.
Okay, it's good. Rings of Power is. I am a fan of this season. It is not getting great reviews, but I think they're missing the point. It's doing everything it should. You can't judge it against the Lord of the Rings because it's not actually the Lord of the Rings story. It's just a different story, but it's a cool world to hang out in.
Well, that's
it's compared to season 1. Like I said before, it's moving at a pretty good clip. But it's a neat world because you kind of know about it, but it's giving you a little bit deeper dives into things that you haven't seen before, more stuff with the elves and how they go around and more into the supernatural side of things. And you just got a whole crew of halflings that aren't from the shot, the hobbits and evolve into the halflings, or halflings evolve into the hobbits. But you get some that aren't from the wooded areas and some other background and get to see some different things. It's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
I did not see Rebel Ridge yet. I saw that it dropped, but I have not had a chance to dig in.
I will put it on my list.
It was a super busy week of football and soccer and
I have that a little bit this week. I have a hockey game tomorrow night at 8:30. However, there's a presidential debate or presidential candidate debate. I don't know. The debate's here at the Constitution Center, and it starts at 9 tomorrow. The Constitution Center is close enough to I-95, which is the road that runs south that I take to go to hockey, that it's going to absolutely ruin my night.
That's very probable. Your best bet is honestly just shoot over to Jersey and go down through Jersey.
I said that to my friend. My friend of mine, Mike, pops in every once in a while. Big fan of the Equalizer, the new one. He pops in every so often. I told him the same thing. Betsy Ross, 130 South.
Yep.
Walt Whitman back over. We're good to go.
Oh, you can 295 it even.
Yeah, but
so we should take a moment.
Yes.
before we get into anything else, though, just a quick moment of silence for the voice, the one that was in everybody's dreams and nightmares, depending on when you watched him and when you learned about him. So, James Earl Jones has passed away.
93.
Yeah, born in January of 1931. So we'll take a quick moment. Oh my God, we were both quiet. That was amazing.
Crazy.
That
wouldn't have happened in another place.
No, 200 screen credits over a 60-year career started in Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove.
That's crazy.
Or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb in 1964. So his 60th year anniversary was this year. Obviously, Darth Vader, right, came back, did it again in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, in Rogue One, in Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, and Star Wars Rebels. He did the voice of Darth Vader when he appeared in there, in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obviously, was Mufasa, was the one that would be in your dreams and not your nightmares, I would hope. Not in the latest movie, but in the couple other ones, couple of other big hits, and everybody listening to this, I'm sure, knows. Conan the Barbarian, which you didn't see, he's great in that movie. Coming to America,
King Jaffe Joffer,
The Hunt for Red October, The Sandlot, Patriot Games.
He was one of the admirals in The Hunt for Red October. It was a good role.
Wait, no, yeah. Wait,
Yep.
So I never thought about that. So he was in Hunt for Red October in a different role than he played in Patriot Games?
No, I'm pretty sure they were the same role.
Because the guy he played in Patriot Games is the guy. Isn't that who Wendell Hobbs ended up playing in? No. Okay.
No.
I thought that was his old boss was who he ended up.
Now he played. I will tell you in a second because he played.
This is my ignorance in having never seen The Hunt for Red October.
He played Admiral Greer. I knew the name. It was in my head, okay. And I couldn't. I forgot the last name. He played Admiral Greer in both of them.
Got it.
Yeah, great role. Great role.
Yeah. So same guy.
Yep.
As Wendell Pierce plays.
Yes.
Jack Ryan. So yes, it is the same person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So he just wasn't an admiral back then because it's the young Jack Ryan.
Correct.
So yeah, definitely rest in peace as a podcast. I think we both listened to a Big Bucket of Win.
Huge.
Now,
did you know that in 2022 he signed with the AI company? He signed his voiceover to this AI company to ensure that his voice would live on via AI basically forever.
I did, because that's how they did the voice in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
Because he didn't have the same timbre to his voice still.
Right. Which I think is really cool. And I like it's a Ukrainian tech startup called Respeecher. And I think it's really, really cool that he didn't just give it to Disney. He gave it to this AI company so that not just Disney could use it, but anybody can use it, or movies and whatnot.
Yeah, as long as his estate and his family get taken care of whenever they do use it, cool.
Oh God, I'm sure.
Well, I'm less sure.
Well,
but
yeah.
Especially if it's a startup that randomly gets bought by some other company and they just wipe all that away and now they have lawyers.
By Disney?
What? Who? Why would they be the ones that do it? I mean, it's only his two most famous roles.
Right.
Look, we'll see. But yeah, so yeah, can't ever say enough great things about him as an actor and all the great things we heard about him I don't think we ever had any bad stuff.
No.
Over the years.
No, I haven't. I have two little lists.
All right,
not little, but they're big.
Oh.
So I'm going to chop them up a little bit, but we're only going to do one of them. So I want you to pick, because save one for another time.
It's my late birthday present. I'm in.
You're in. Okay. It is the best science fiction action movies, or the 44 best. We're not going to do 44. We'll go down to 20. 2000 sci-fi shows ranked by fans. Both of these are from Ranker, so they're all ranked by fans.
I would go with the second one. I would go with the 2000 sci-fi. Well, you know what? I probably didn't see most of those though. How many are on the other list?
Hang on, I'll tell you how many are on the other list. We're really prepared tonight. Action movies.
Starting
This thing goes. I mean,
all the way.
I did a couple quick scrolls and it's at 65.
Okay, let's do the top 24 just to make my friend Chris angry.
The top
24 sci-fi shows.
Sci-fi shows?
Or do you want to do just top 20? We can do top 20. We'll keep it a nice
Not the movies,
number.
the shows.
The shows.
Okay, I'm going to do 24 though because it's going to include a couple really fun ones for me.
All right.
I'm going to stick with the 24.
I bet you've seen more of these than I have. This will be a rarity in lists or in shows.
You know what? Just for fun, we're going to go 26 and we won't spend long on it. I'm going to stop at 26 because that's where the scroll stopped and it stopped at 26. Lost.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so we'll start there.
This is of the early 2000s?
This is the best 2000s sci-fi show.
Okay. So Lost is 26. I feel like this list may already be flawed.
Third Rock is 25. Lost is a number 1, T. I know what number 1 is because that's where the page landed on.
Third Rock is okay.
At 25, okay. Sanctuary is at 24. Now, Sanctuary was a sci-fi show that starred Amanda Tapping from Stargate, among other Stargate alums. It was a pretty good show. I watched 2 seasons out of the, I think, 4 that they did.
I feel like there was a very targeted audience that did this ranking.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Stargate, like Atlantis, is going to be number 1. Actually, Battlestar Galactica better be number 1.
Neither one of those are number 1. I can ruin that for you.
Oh, my God.
Number 23, Andromeda from 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I never watched it. Number 22, Primeval from 2007. Never saw that.
07? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was later than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 21 was Torchwood. There's a two for you.
That should be
all the way down to 21.
Torchwood was great.
That's the one with John Merlin,
John
right?
Barrowman. Yeah.
Yes.
Which depends. So there's 4 seasons of Torchwood, and then there's like webisodes, and there was like a series that aired on like Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
It was season 3 that Peter Capaldi was in, but he wasn't Doctor Who. He was just in it.
Gotcha. 20 is Roswell from 99, so it's kind of right on the edge. I didn't watch Roswell. I tried. I couldn't get into it.
There was a remake a few years ago.
Couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Sliders at 19 from 95. So this is not all just the 2000s apparently. So thank you, Ranker.
Got it. Sliders starring wasn't that the pretty boy?
Yep. Jerry O'Connell, John Rhys Davies, Carrie Werner from MTV fame.
Oh.
Carrie Werner?
No, Kari Wull.
Kari Werner
was from MTV. She was on Remote Control.
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
With Colin Quinn and Ken Oberman.
Number 18, Terminator, Sarah Chronicles at 2008. It was a great show. I loved it.
Yeah, I have seen 2 of these shows so far, so we're doing great for me.
17 is Dollhouse from 2009. I did not watch this.
It was 17? Dollhouse is pretty good. Oh, that means Buffy and Angel are going to be way up high.
Number 16, Heroes. Hopefully that's just season 1.
16. All right.
That's down there. It just, yeah. At number 15, 2009's version of V, which I watched the original and loved the original.
So it's funny. So you sent me a list the other day. Just to real quick comment on T's thing where he loved Remote Control. He had the game on the NES.
Same.
Phenomenal show. It still makes me, every time I see anything about the band ABBA, I have to say the Swedish supergroup.
Yes.
ABBA. Because that was always a category that people got stuck on, was the category about the Swedish supergroup ABBA.
Yep.
So you sent me it's funny you say V, right? Because I knew when I saw that V was coming out that it was going to get canceled. Do you know why?
No.
Because Morris Chestnut was in it.
Who's Morris Chestnut?
So he's an actor, was in a lot of shows, had a lot of movies, a lot of things. You knew it was either going to flop or get canceled, but he was like a leading man that everybody loved. Him and Vivica A. Fox were the two for a little while. If you saw the two of them together in a movie, you knew it was going to flop probably. Yeah. And if you saw him on a TV show, you were like, oh, that's going to make it a year and a half. Or they'd add him on and you'd be like, oh, it's the tail end.
This was Elizabeth Mitchell was one of the stars of this one.
Yeah, from Lost. And
the
Gigli.
Oh.
With Angelina Jolie.
What a scene. Oh, I never loved a fence so more in my life. Anyway, at number 14, 2005's Doctor Who.
Well, number what?
We're at 14.
Oh, wow.
This list, T, you're right. This list is flawed.
It's a little low. So again, I feel like I feel like Stargate is going to be in like the top 3, which means that this list is flawed.
Look, at number 13, a show that was near and dear to my heart that I loved, 2009's Warehouse 13. Goofy, but so fun.
Was that what was that? Was that in sci-fi or Netflix?
That was
exclusive?
sci-fi. That was
okay.
McClintock, Joanna Kelly, Sal Rubinick, Allison Scagliotti, and Aaron Ashmore.
Oh, that Ashmore.
That Ashmore.
Got it.
At number 12 is 2000's Dark Angel that starred Jessica Alba.
Yeah, it was not good.
I didn't watch it. I heard it was actually. I thought it was good. Dark Angel is the James Cameron one, right?
Was that her big one? Okay, never mind.
Was that James?
I thought there was a follow-up to it that she did, but maybe that was her big one. Yeah, I think I watched an episode or two.
I couldn't get into it. So in the number 11 spot, I don't know about this. At 11, 2001 Star Trek Enterprise. It's a little high. A little high for... Look, Enterprise wasn't a bad show. The finale ruined any goodness that the show had, basically.
I might have seen it on a Saturday afternoon on whatever channel it aired on.
Busy in 2000. In 2000.
That whole decade, yes.
Yeah. At number 10, not a bad spot. Also, not 2000, 1995, Star Trek Voyager.
Oh,
Much better than Enterprise, but I don't know if I could slot that in a top 10.
I don't know that I would put either one of those against Lost or Heroes or Doctor Who.
I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but 10 is rough. At number 9, Discovery T is not in the 2000s, or I would agree with you.
I mean, it is.
Then again, neither is some of this list, as Star Trek Voyager started in 95.
But if it was still airing in the 2000s, I bet that's what they went by.
That's probably. At number 9, Supernatural.
That's fair.
Okay.
I mean, it ran for 17 years. I love the first 6 seasons of that show. I loved watching.
Okay. Is Stargate Atlantis at number 8 better than Supernatural?
No.
Is it better than Doctor Who?
No.
Is it better than Well,
I don't know. Was Teal'c in that one? Then maybe it was okay.
Teal'c did show up in that one. This one starred Joe Flanagan.
That's all I got.
Jason Momoa was in it for a while. Actually, the whole run.
Oh, as the Teal'c character with Jason Momoa.
Well, kind of.
As the proxy for Teal'c.
Robert Picardo was in it as Robert Picardo for a while.
Cool.
Anyway, at number 7, and I like it here, could be a little higher for me, 2006's Eureka.
Okay.
Great fun show. Eureka is an absolutely fantastically fun show.
It's still on my Peacock watch list.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get to it. T, I'm a huge Stargate fan, major.
I love the movie.
The movie is great.
I watched the first run on Showtime of the new show with Richard Dean Anderson because he's not like MacGyver. You know?
That's the one that's great. That was once they actually started focusing in on a story and stopped using the penis guns as much, it was great.
But it drove me nuts when it was on premium cable or whatever we call that now. I don't even know what that is now.
Showtime.
Because I'd watch it and I'd be like, oh wait, this episode's 44 minutes long and they're not swearing. Oh god damn it, it's going to go to syndication.
Yep. At number 6, The X-Files.
Okay, that's a fair spot for The X-Files. I think we finally hit one that's in the right spot.
Okay. And now the top 5, Fringe.
Okay.
I never watched it.
The last season went off the rails, bad, but it was so good.
Yeah.
It's a J.J. Abrams joint.
Yep. Number 4, Farscape.
Okay. I heard good things. I never saw it.
Now, Ben Browder and Claudia Black appeared in Stargate in season Richard Dean Anderson kind of retired from acting and they came in.
Got it.
At number 3, and I don't have a problem with this show here at number 3, is 2005's Battlestar Galactica.
I think 3 is a solid spot, even though the 2 above it are going to be wrong.
Such a good show. Yeah, because at number 2 is Stargate SG-1, and that ran for like 10 to 12 seasons, and it was just there were some definite slogs in that.
Number 2 is SG-1.
Number 2 is SG-1.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Somebody in the chat already pegged number 1. Firefly is the number 1 show according to Ranker of the 2000s.
Yeah, look,
400 votes.
I finally watched Firefly a few years ago. I'd never seen it.
I haven't.
It's fine.
It's short, right?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? It was like one season in a movie. So like you couldn't really be like, "Oh my god, it was a great sprawling epic and phenomenal all-in series" because it was so short. It was good because they didn't have time to have crappy episodes. So there were only like 11 episodes. It got canceled like halfway through the season. But look, I enjoyed Firefly quite a bit. Everybody on it was a star.
Yeah,
which is helpful.
Yeah, or became a star, and
yeah. Look, they all went on to everything Joss Whedon ever did before he was canned.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna run through some of this newsy stuff real fast. Heroes season 1 was phenomenal, and then it just kind of
2 was on a weird track, and then the writer's strike wrecked it.
Yep, that's one of those shows that never recovered from the writer's strike at all.
No.
Whoops. Sorry, I have to go to Jack's favorite TikTok for my other thing later. We're probably going to get an Ocean's 14.
That's exciting for somebody.
I enjoy the movies. So, Pitt and Clooney are circling that, and they're in negotiation.
Yeah, it's gotten a little weird though when Tess played Julia Roberts in the movie.
Oh, it's hilarious. That was just a meta thing. That was just them,
Yeah, I'm sure the next one will go even more meta at this point. It was my guess.
We have confirmation that Happy Gilmore 2 is about to start filming and will drop right to Netflix because Netflix loves Adam Sandler.
Well, he has an exclusive contract with them, I'm pretty sure.
He does.
Filming it right down the street in New Jersey.
Yep.
With at least one Kelsey brother guesting in it as a cameo.
So far. And I'm pretty sure that, what's his name will be back. He's got a lot of golfers, I believe. Shooter will be back, and I believe he's got a lot of golfers.
Do we get Lee Trevino? Is Lee Trevino still alive?
He's going to pull all the stops out for this.
Yeah, because why not? I mean, look, is it the first sequel he's done to one of his classics?
It might be.
Lee Trevino's still around. He's 84 now.
All right, let's get him. Let's get him in the movie. Let's see if he listens and he reaches out to Adam Sandler because Lee Trevino loves our show.
He does. I'm sure he heard all about it on the Kelsey thing when they talked about it. They had a whole interview with Sandler. It was interesting hearing his
Oh, really?
Yeah, his thoughts and where he's at and everything like that, and a lot of talk about the Waterboy. I would take a Waterboy too and see where all that is. He did do Grown Ups too, but that's not part of like the holy late 90s when you went Billy Madison into Waterboy into Big Daddy into Little Nick. I think ended with Little Nicky into The Wedding Singer was the end of that era for Sandler.
Yep. We did mention that we're getting a Burbs.
A remake, right? We mentioned that last week.
A TV reboot. So far, we have Keke Palmer has been tapped to star.
Okay.
And that's it. That's it.
Okay.
All we got so far. We got Keke Palmer.
It's exciting.
Look, I you know what, T? I forgot that was a thing, and yes, apparently his stand-up on Netflix is really, really good. So, hang on, I'm bouncing all over the place. Here's something that I'm not real thrilled about.
Oh,
they're thinking about making a Reacher spinoff based around Neely.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. What is there any real story there?
Look, you don't need a story.
Sure
Is there? No, you don't. You just let her go out and get hired for a job and let her do the job.
But I don't know.
Like I enjoy watching her. I think she's fun to watch. You don't need to pull any of the Reacher things. Maybe you get her and Swan together.
Okay, I would watch that. I would
because you can leave Jack Reacher off as his own. Neil is the one that's been in both seasons. She's kind of his money.
I would watch Serinda Swan drink bathwater for an hour.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like you can have her and some of the other people because she's all supposed to interact with Reacher's supposed to be the solo guy, right? So
Right.
I think you could do some fun stuff with Neely in a spinoff.
I don't see a point to that, but there are so many things that are made that there are no point to.
What's the point to any of it, Frank?
I don't know. See, Matt's with me. Are you with me on the bathwater thing, or are you with me on there's no point in her having her own thing? Like, I want to make sure that we're on the same page, Matt. Just make sure we're here.
He's just waiting for the Inhumans sequel to come out with her back as Medusa. Maybe she'll have hair this time.
So where's the
So while you're looking, so I did get another Office episode under my belt. Because I had to.
Thank you, T. Yes, what's the
I feel a little obligated to have watched another episode of The Office. Because that's where we're at, right?
Where are we at with this? What episode?
Hold on.
Gay Witch Hunt.
No. We got through. Did I watch Michael's birthday last week? I think I did.
Yeah, that was kind of cringe. That was the cringe episode at the skating rink.
Yeah.
Where he sandwiches Toby into the glass.
Yeah, maybe you know what? I think I watched that after. Yeah, that was yes. Oh, I watched that. That was the one that I watched this week. That was this week I watched that.
That was really cringe.
Yeah, it was. Look, most of the show is still pretty cringe to me. But it's starting to figure things out. It's still just Pam and Jim are like I'd love to say that I'm rooting for him, but I really don't care.
Don't you motherfucker.
I'm shooting. I'm shooting to have this season done by this week, though, so I can move on to hopefully when season 3 is better.
Yeah, you're not up to Casino Night yet, right?
Casino Night ends season 2.
Season 2. Okay, yeah. Once that, yeah, it goes from there.
Yeah, I have drug testing, conflict resolution, and Casino Night left. Okay. But like I said, it was a busy week, and I started that show Chaos on Netflix.
Yeah, I heard that's really good.
It's bizarre.
Okay.
I'm digging it though. So Jeff Goldblum is Zeus, and it's set in like modern times, but if the gods were still around and still like were in charge, basically.
Interesting.
So there's all of the thunder and fury and all those things of all the gods and prophecies, and Prometheus is around, and all of them are still running everything, but it's modern day world. It's kind of a cool concept.
Okay.
And the writing is good enough that it's keeping me engaged because I'm like, I don't know if this is good, but the writing is really good. And I'm like halfway through, and I'm enjoying it. So I'll give you a read on the rest of it last week. I'm sure you'll be all caught up and watch the whole thing this week.
Right. Hey man, I watched Bad Monkey. All right.
Dude, Bad Monkey. It's another one, right?
Loving it.
When a show's well written,
yep,
and gives you it makes me realize how much I've missed that, and I hate to call it this, but like that USA style show that's like episodic, but has a little bit of the serialized storyline going through it, but like you have your little runoffs on the side, and you get like just a story that moves and gives you little tidbits as you go, and like doesn't have to be like, let me connect these 700 things for you that you don't really care about. But I'm gonna make sure that they're all interconnected. You don't get that with this show per se, no. Where it's all self-contained, which is really nice.
So what I was looking for was this here, which will lead into a little bit of another topic, kind of a thing. So, Screen Rant recently interviewed Marvel Studios head of TV streaming and animation, Brad Winderbaum, who is also one of the executive producers on one of Jack's most anticipated shows of the year, Agatha All Along. While promoting the upcoming Phase 5 TV show, Winderbaum was asked if there are more projects left to be announced for the multiverse saga, given the MCU is now only 3 years away from Avengers Secret War. He said, I think Secret Wars is going to be an amazing culmination to the saga. So that Secret Wars is going to close the book on the multiverse saga, allegedly.
Great. So we'll get the wrap up of the Marvels built into another movie. Is where they're gonna say it's.
I mean, look.
We get the X-Men from there pulled in, and then we get what's her name back? We get Photon back.
We get Photon back. So
maybe, who knows? They still don't really know what they're doing. I'm waiting. I saw some stuff about Armor Wars too.
I did. So John Watts has decided not to do Spider-Man 4. He thinks the 3 he did were fine, and he wants to like.
Isn't he doing Fantastic Four?
Yeah,
he's a little busy.
But I'm sorry, they have tagged another director to possibly do Spider-Man 4.
I saw this. This is late breaking.
Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Apparently Spider-Man 4 has changed from what was supposed to be a grounded, like that's where they left 3 is it was grounded. And the one rumor I read is that it was going to be Spider-Man dealing with more grounded based things. He was going to team up with Daredevil at some point, and they were going to do like Kingpin.
They're going to like make it good. Yeah.
Kingpin was going to be the mayor of New York, and like they were going to fight grounded in reality, non-tech Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
And now it's going to be another multiverse saga. They're trying to talk. They're trying to get Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman on screen together. People are bugging Andrew Garfield again. He's like, no, I can assure you I'm not in it. And everybody's like, yeah, that's what you said last time, dummy. So
I have issues with getting the guy from Shang-Chi because I feel like he didn't actually direct Shang-Chi. It was just the Marvel sausage that he put out, right? Because like, oh, all right, kind of decent story. Oh, look, funny. Have Awkwafina as the comic relief. Laugh. Cool. All right, now big epic dragons and special effects heavy last 45 minutes that doesn't connect to the rest of the movie at all. Go.
Right.
So I'm hoping that's not the case with this one, but I don't know any of his other work either. So
I'm not familiar, but one thing, now you had sent me this article earlier that we were going to spend a little time on, and thanks to the New York Times, I can't open this article anymore because I've opened it like twice today to look at it. And now I can't open it again. Basically,
I can find that.
Basically, the article is about how TV is making us wait for things. And while you're looking for that, I can tell. Go ahead.
I was going to say before we hop into that, because I got to find that article. Speaking of waiting for things, there's one thing that we've been waiting for that we need to talk about, and another thing that we've been not waiting for that apparently is coming. So we've been waiting on this Minecraft trailer because Jason Momoa keeps talking about how amazing it's going to be. Now, you never told me if you managed to watch.
I got through like 15 seconds of it and I shut it off.
Oh, it gets so much worse.
It's nightmare fuel.
It gets so much worse the longer you watch it.
Like, I understand that it's supposed to be weird and out there, but this thing has surpassed 1 million dislikes on YouTube.
It's pretty impressive that it is so strongly disliked. But it is deservedly so that it is so strongly disliked because it is awful.
Yeah, like I'll try and watch it tomorrow. Quick little side note. I told you I was supposed to go to a CDW event at Lincoln Financial Field today.
Yeah,
it was a big CDW hosted event where they go through a whole bunch of like speeches and giveaways and blah blah blah. And I drove all the way down, and it's tomorrow. So I was going to meet Donovan McNabb. Now I'm not sure if I'm going tomorrow because I have a bunch of work to do tomorrow, and so we'll see. But anyway,
but is it a work event?
It is technically a work event, so we'll see. But beings with the traffic that I was talking about earlier, I don't know if I want to deal with that because then I got to come back. Then I got to get my hockey stuff and go back down there for. Yeah. Anyway.
So and well, yeah. It looks awful. God, it looks awful.
It really does.
And that goes back to the other thing that we weren't really waiting for that apparently we have been is Goonies 2.
Yeah.
Are you excited to see Corey Feldman back at it?
If Corey Feldman gets a guitar solo at any point in the movie, it's worth every penny of going to see it.
Do you think so? Is that the case?
No, I don't. I don't think this is one of those movies that just doesn't need a sequel. Like, what story do you have to tell at this point for a Goonies 2? Like, I don't really want to see where they ended up. The whole point of that movie was to save the town. They did. I don't care what happens after that. Like, that movie to me was open, middle, closed, done. We don't need a sequel.
100% agreed. I get it. It's Ke Huy Quan still a little hot, even though they haven't put him in anything else yet besides Loki season 2. And Sean Astin's still Sean Astin. You know, there's the zeitgeist of Corey Feldman playing a guitar solo on something lately.
Great.
So,
amazing.
yeah, it's I don't know where to go with all that. Goonies 2. I don't know what the point is.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
I will tell you, I tried to get my kids to watch the original Goonies a few years ago.
No.
Zero interest. They were like, I don't get it. I don't even care. I'm like, what do you mean kids go play outside? I'm like, that's fair. Why would parents let their kids randomly go across town and get kidnapped by the mob to discover an underground cavern? They're like, that doesn't even make sense. I'm like, that's
it doesn't, but it's fun.
That's fair, but it was every 80s movie and TV show. That's what kids did. You know,
exactly.
That's how we rolled. A question from T, by the way, about the Spider-Man movie. If Aaron Taylor Johnson shows up as Kraven and does Kraven the Last Hunt, that would be amazing. But they're not going to go Kraven's Last Hunt. It's too dark, and they're trying to make Kraven a hero because God forbid you let a villain be a villain in the MCU. Otherwise, the problem is if you make him a villain, they kill him off at the end of the episode, and you got nothing to do anymore.
Hopefully, we get the engineer and Agatha.
So the article we were talking about plays into more than a few things that we have left to talk about, right? Because there's a little DC stuff, there's a little bit of news.
There's a show coming out. They gave a release date for Peacemaker's second half of 2025.
Yeah, after Super, which we already knew, so they didn't really give any updates. Just every headline is like, "Oh my God, they gave a window. It's after Superman." Thanks.
Yeah.
But same thing, like, you know, it'll be 3 years plus since we got season 1. So that begs the question, and that's kind of what this article is talking about. Like, will you grow old waiting for your favorite show to come back? Now, I know you're not a Stranger Things guy.
No, and that's how long has that been now?
It's been over 3 years.
That's another one.
And still is not back yet. Rings of Power was 2 years before it came back. Euphoria, which I didn't watch, but it's still on my list because I think Sydney Sweeney was of age for the whole thing, so I'm good. Is January 2022 and will film sometime in 2025. So 4 years. Severance, 2 years at least between seasons. Peacemaker 3, like everything is getting farther and farther.
Right? And they're shorter and shorter. It's not like you're waiting 3 years for a 22 episode season. You're waiting 3 years for 8 to 10 episodes.
Right. Gone are the days when it was all the sci-fi shows we talked about, right? You got 20 plus episodes a year.
Yep.
Year in and year out.
Yep. It's a whole different world now.
Which I will admit, rewatches are easier, or, you know, finding new shows and getting caught up on them a little easier now, except for the fact that now they're all 2-hour-long episodes and they're just making movies and they have to be the higher quality and they have to do all these things, right? Like it's so hard to get back into shows after all those years because it's such an investment to watch them in the first place, and you get into them, and especially the binge model.
It is. Look at our very first episode, January 27th, 2021 of this podcast was the very first episode that we talked about WandaVision. That was that week, right?
Yeah.
That was the first MCU spinoff. I still think it was a great show. Good show. But now you're waiting until September 18th, 2024 to get the sequel to that, the Agatha All Along.
And not even the sequel that was set up.
No.
The
That's
sequel
not
that was set up was Vision Quest.
That's not coming for what, another year or two at least, right?
Meanwhile, in that same amount of time, we did phase 1 and phase 2 of the MCU.
Right. In
Think
the
about
past.
that.
Yeah. So Agatha All Along is going to drop episode 1 and 2 on September 18th at 9:00. And then on what is it? On September 19th, which is a Thursday at 9:00, you're going to get the Penguin show, which is then going to move to Sundays. But that's what, a year, 2 years now? We've waited for that. Right?
The Penguin show?
Yeah.
Look, Batman feels like it came out so long ago, but I feel like it was last February.
Okay.
Which is still a year and a half to film 8 episodes of a grounded crime show is wild.
It's
SVU
insane.
would do that in a month.
Right. I mean,
and probably be just as good as the Penguin show is going to be.
2022. Okay. So 2022 was the Batman. 2 years later, we're getting the Penguin. Another year plus before the Batman 2 comes out.
It's going to be 2 years before Batman.
It's going to be 2026 before that comes out.
Yeah.
Easily.
It's too long between these things to keep the interest. I hope it catches up, except for the fact that then Deadpool just went and pulled off being one of the top grossing movies of all time, probably because the first one that everybody remembers, like, oh, there was a good Deadpool movie was the last thing I remember.
And what's weird about this is like, normally if it's something like a movie like that, I'd like to try and go back and watch the first movie to catch up. I'm not watching the first Batman movie before the second Batman movie now.
It's so short though.
I can't do it. And then back over in the MCU, you have Armor Wars, which is in limbo again, right? And then, which was going to be connected to Ironheart and Vision Quest. Ironheart's going to come out, but Vision Quest is still 2 years down the road.
Yeah, but Ironheart finished filming 2 years ago.
Right. It absolutely blows my mind that it takes so long now for all of this crap to come out.
Well, yeah, and look, and there's pluses and minuses, right? The plus is we have something to talk about because it's all rumors and speculation as to what the hell the next thing is going to be because it takes so long to come out, which is great. Except for the fact that we then go these long droughts between content, even regular content, right? So we had this year. Did we have an MCU show before Deadpool? No, right?
No.
I don't think so. No, we did. There was 2 shows this year, right? I forget what the other one was, but we had, we have Agatha All Along. We had Deadpool. I think there was something else that came out, but like I don't even remember what it was because the conversation stops for so long between these things.
Yeah.
From a TV content standpoint, that it makes it really hard to stay invested and get back into them. Like, yeah, I shouldn't have to watch the recap for all of these things because, like, oh well, I don't know what happened 3 years ago on Game of Thrones. You need to show me in the House of the Dragon trailer, or 10 years ago in Game of Thrones, you got to show me the House of the Dragon trailer.
Right.
It makes it more and more complicated for these things, and I think they have.
I think Daredevil is close to doing it okay because Daredevil's coming out in March of next year, but they're already starting the next one. But at the same now what's weird is I told you before that Icons Unleashed show, right? I love watching it on Vice. There's 2 that they're doing concurrently right now. They're doing a Harry Potter one and they're doing one on just Tom Cruise, which I'm actually really interested in the Tom Cruise one when it's finished. So I watched the first 2 episodes of Harry Potter, and here's what I didn't know about that. They filmed basically both of the first 2 movies, one right after the other. And the director had no time off because they were trying to cram them in because the kids were so young. And they knew that they only had a sec, but you're killing your crew and your cast doing it that way too. So you're doing these, you cast these children so small. Harry Potter's about to they're doing a remake on HBO. They just put the casting call out for 9 to 11-year-old kids of any, they're not restricting the roles to any specific race, religion, creed, or
I'm sure J.K. Rowling's thrilled.
But they're going to redo the Harry Potter movies as a TV series. You're going to cast kids between 9 and 11. How long are you going to take? This is going to be a heavily CGI'd show, right? Because Harry Potter.
But they could do it in the movies. So like that's the thing that blows my mind. Like, why can TV shows not? And is it because there's more things using all of the CGI and there's not that many more production houses and that many more special effects companies? I feel like that's probably the rub, where they all, like Warner Brothers, for instance, has 1 or 2 houses that they go to for special effects, and they're putting out 30 projects a year. So like, what do you do? There's only so much work. And we also had Echo this year.
That's right. But Echo was filmed way earlier, right? Wasn't Echo filmed prior to this year? And they were actually.
Yeah, I mean, it was a spinoff. Well, it was a spinoff to Hawkeye, which was 2021.
But they were going to can it. They weren't even going to release Echo.
Correct.
Right.
And then, they dropped it in one big drop instead of the weekly like they were going to do. And then, X-Men 97 we also had this year.
Right.
But not tied to anything as far as we know yet.
No. So we had Secret Invasion in 2023 that we really don't like to talk about. Loki season 2 in 2023 at the end of 2023 in October. And then, Echo at the beginning of this year in 2024. All they really have on their slate right now, aside from this, movie-wise, they have Captain America coming out, and then Thunderbolts in May. So Captain America in February, Thunderbolts in May. And then TV show-wise, there's no dates on any of this stuff. You have Agatha's September 18th. That's going to run into October.
Yep.
Eyes of Wakanda is supposed to come out this year. I don't know if there's a date on that. Friendly Neighborhood.
Seen an official one yet.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is supposed to come out this year, later this year.
Which is now no longer a prequel. It's out of continuity.
Right. And then Daredevil in March and Ironheart in March as in 2025, not March, as their 2 shows. And then, I guess I get it. I understand that they're kind of they kind of had to scramble a little bit to do the Kang replacement and to kind of shift some stuff around. But what about all this stuff that you filmed, Ironheart and these things that you have sitting there?
Yeah, I just think they know that they're not good. And I think one of the things that they've also recently announced that they have changed their show structure and what they did with Disney Plus, because all of these things were like, oh, this was filmed. They were, however, none of them had a showrunner.
Oh, don't forget Blade's coming out in November of 2025.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is for sure.
One other thing I read about the Avengers stuff is that Robert Downey Jr. might not be playing Doctor Doom after Secret Wars. He may just be there to set up a different Doctor Doom. No.
Yeah, you have to. You can't make him stay Doctor Doom.
But
it won't work.
That aside, you have all this stuff, and it's not just Marvel, it's everything else. It's House of the Dragon. 2 years now before we're going to see season 3, which gives George R.R. Martin more time to cut apart what they've done. And we can talk about that maybe next week, about how unhappy he is with a lot of the changes that the showrunners made. And The Boys, so Gen V is next year, then The Boys is the following year. That's okay, because you're bridging your shows.
But you are, right? You only get 6 weeks of these shows. There's 52 weeks in a year. So
that's true.
The rest of it is just leaks and speculation. I think that's the problem with all of this, right? It gives you time. Mm-hmm. And that's what, you didn't used to have in comics, and you didn't used to have even in books, because books wouldn't take years for the most part. The prolific writers would crank one out every year or two. And the show's getting them every season. You didn't have time to write a better story for yourself.
No.
Now, and look, and there's, I don't know if anybody knows this, there might be other shows that do this similar kind of stuff as we do. Talking about all these things and what their options are and what they could do. But my problem with so many of these things, and I know I'm a little bit critical, but it's because I had so long to be like, this would be an awesome story for them to tell. And then they don't. and they tell something different, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not as good as what I wanted them to tell.
Does waiting for these shows ruin the show for you?
Sometimes. But like most of them I will finish watching out of obligation, but I feel like there's plenty that I've dropped off on the second half. Like I said, I don't even know if I'll end up watching Agatha because I know it's not tied to anything else for at least another 4 years. So if I really want to catch up, I can catch up then.
It's supposed to lead in Division,
which hasn't been written or filmed or anything yet. So, and we know it's not next year, and it's probably not the year after that. So, like Paul Bettany's going to be in his 90s.
So am I.
When we get there. So, like,
so am I.
And DC's in the same boat, right, with their reset and everything. But did you know it's only been a year since The Flash came out?
The Flash, the TV show, or
the movie? Only a year.
It should have never come out.
No, so it's and for the shows that are like groundbreaking, like Severance is a great example, and you should watch that before the new season comes out. But yeah, and for me, I discovered that show late, so I binged more of it than I would have liked.
Okay.
Because it was Apple TV, as we've been learning with like Bad Monkey right now. It's great in the fact that they're doing these weekly releases still, so you don't have to find time to watch everything before you look at your phone 3 days later, like with what they did with Umbrella Academy. And Netflix is even getting weird with it, where they're like, let me drop 4 episodes and then 8 months later I'll drop another 2. But remember what happened in those 4 that you watched in the span of 3.5 hours one day.
That's what Cobra Kai's doing. Here's 5 episodes. Now wait 3 months. Here's 5 episodes. Now wait another 3 months, and here's the last 6 episodes or 5 episodes. I'm already half out of this first 5 episode break of this first 5 episodes of Cobra Kai. It's already going so far into the weird shit that I don't even care about the next 5. Do I care that Mr. Miyagi fought in a Sekai whatever freaking tournament now? No. You took me out of it by breaking it up.
Right.
Cobra Kai was at its best when they dropped it all and let it go.
Well, but they didn't. It was originally weekly on YouTube Red, and it was great then too.
Well, it was fine on Netflix when they dropped it and run. Drop it and run. Cool. Watch it.
Yeah, and yes and no, right? But that goes back to the thing of like, it's fine because nobody was out there spoiling Cobra Kai. However, if it's any of the other things in the pop culture zeitgeist, like, and I spent a week or 2 weeks because of Cobra Kai, because my algorithm was ahead of it for a few days. Where it was, I saw these alerts and I'm like, oh my God, what happened with Tori? Blah, 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 blah. And I had to keep not reading articles and scrolling past. But then then one of the headlines was like episode 5. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And that's what happened. If I don't always want to go to see a big movie on a Thursday night. I want to wait till Saturday morning or Sunday morning. But because of what we do with this and what T does and Dom and those guys, not that they're spoiling anything, but I'm saying with what we do, we have to see something right away.
Right.
Because every Facebook page that you follow, every website that you go to, because all of our algorithms are searching this stuff to get news to talk about, it's right there in the forefront. It's, the Deadpool and Wolverine stuff, the Channing Tatum thing was spoiled by Sunday.
Right.
And the Chris Evans thing maybe lasted till Sunday, but it's right there in the and it's not even just wait till you see what happens in Deadpool. It's Chris Evans cameo in Deadpool blows people's minds, and you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, when that was coming out, I had to block because so I'm a Google guy.
Same.
So the nice part is on my phone.
Oh.
So the nice part on my phone is I can, when something pops up, I can then say I don't want to hear any more about that, and block it from all my search engines.
Yep.
Or my search, my newsfeed and everything like that. So that's helpful, but it's still stuff sneaks through all the time.
I go incognito window on my PC at work, so for situations like this, so that I don't get things spoiled, because I'm not having the predictive text grab me these things. It's very frustrating to try and navigate a big movie like that. And it's almost hard for us not to talk, because like maybe you get to see it before I do.
Right.
And it's like, hey, I saw a movie tonight. And I'm like, I didn't see it yet. And you're like, okay, I saw a movie tonight. It's like, and that's it. The conversation's over.
Yeah, well, and I'm not going to like it, so it's easy to know what what I thought about something. But I watched the. Yeah, exactly. I'm speaking of that. So neither one of us had the chance to go see Beetlejuice.
No, and I was going to mention that at the end that maybe next week I will, but I don't even know if I'm going to get to see it next week.
My week is chaos. Yes, the show as well. I'm going to try and knock that out this week. But also after tomorrow, I am out of town for a couple days. Then I gig Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm at the Eagles game Monday night. So,
yeah, I'm okay not going to see a live football game ever again.
So it's a little busy. I'm stoked to go to the home opener though. I think that's gonna be cool.
That's gonna be really cool. Yeah.
Saquon
Barkley.
It's my wife's birthday week, so that's taking her to see her boys.
It's a week, huh?
No, but but that's the day that I got tickets, so it's a week now.
And just before we go, just to finish it, and T made it. I forget everything and get surprised when they drop. That was back to the earlier conversation. I feel the same way sometimes, because you don't want to Google something about the show that happened previously when a new show's dropping, because it's going to bring you what the new show is, and you're like, because you're waiting so long between stuff.
Yeah. So what you hope? Well, so you might wait a little while before our next episode. Speaking of me going to the game next Monday night.
Oh yeah, you might.
So it might be a minute till episode 151. But thanks to all of you that have been hanging out the last 150 episodes with us, and 150 plus more coming through for you all. So we will see you all next time. Thanks for finding the Geek Spot. You can check me out at jackkidmusic.com as always. Doing some more updates there, and you can check out Frank.
I might make a TikTok for the show this week, just to kind of fill some content in, since we're not going to be there next week probably.
Can check him out on the Ticks and the Talks, doing the things.
You'll see it.
Yeah, at some point it'll be right there. It'll be on that app. You can click it, and it'll Geek Spot tell you things and all that good stuff. So thanks for finding the Geek Spot, everybody. Thanks again for the 150 episodes, and we'll see you soon.
Bang, bang.